Parishioners and friends, good day to everyone. We are still in Lent, and so as we said, we're not doing any meat for Lent until after Easter, but we can do fish. And a friend of mine came from Vancouver and brought me a nice cod. This cod, we call it Baccalà. Portuguese Italians, we call it Baccalà. And so what we're gonna do is cod. A friend of mine went to Vancouver and brought me a nice piece of cod. In Italian we call it Baccalà, as well as the Portuguese. They're really good doing Baccalà. So that's what we're gonna try to do. But because it's under salt, that's how the fish is preserved. We have to put in the water for 48 hours. Okay, so we put it today, and today 48 hours we'll take it out and then we'll cook it. However, it's good to change the water halfway through, which is, if I put it today, tomorrow I'll change the water. So put fresh water for the next 12 hours, so that will make it 48 hours, 2 days in the fridge in the water. Here's the Baccalà. It's semi-dry under salt, and you may not see, but it's covered with salt everywhere. I can feel. Oh, let's do this. You see? That's all salt. So we're gonna chop it up, and then we put in this nice bowl that is covered, and then we fill it with water. And there's no bone. See, a nice cod, all salt on the top. Beautiful. All we have to do now is just let's put them all in the bowl. A nice wash first. And now we'll fill it with water. And voila, so we'll just cover it. And today we're done. Cod that was in the fridge for 48 hours, and we changed the water halfway through. You can change the water even more often if you want, but I did change once. And here it is. Just took it out from the fridge, and I'm gonna wash it thoroughly again. Cold water, of course, otherwise it will cook. And we just rinse it. And if you notice how the piece of fish is now a bit softer, that has released all the salt. It's been the water, so it's been softer now. So we have the cod, and we're gonna do it with tomato sauce. We can call it alla livornese, which means from Livorno, but I'm not gonna call it like that because I don't want some Italian people coming after me that is not properly done, which is not exactly like that way, but I call it tomato sauce. And the tomato is simply the pure tomato we used last time, and just open the can, put in a blender, and just give a quick blend with some olive oil inside. Onions, garlic, parsley, the black olives that are dried with the seed inside, so we're gonna take the seed out. And capers and banana peppers. Banana peppers are a bit tangy, and they give a little bit of a tangy taste and flavor to the sauce, and it's compensated by the sweetness of the white onions. These are sweet onions. 2 of them because they're small, and there was a big one. Parsley always we put at the end. We don't cook the parsley too much because it gets bitter. Of course, white wine and olive oil, as always, you know. And then of course salt and pepper to taste while we cook. We're going to start with the most boring thing, and is to take the pit out of this. I found once those dry black olives already pitted, They were really expensive. It just needs a little bit of patience, that's all. So we just squeeze them and turn, and we're not gonna cut it because it's already kind of already open up and broken up. We're gonna use pieces like that. So we just squeeze them and it breaks right there. These black olives are called also Moroccan olives, and they are a bit salty, so we have to be attentive not to have too much salt when we cook the baccalà. Now we chop the onions. I cut them in 4 and I catch this and then fold it, and it peels like that. And voila! Garlic. How much garlic we use? Up to the taste. I tendentially like garlic, so I'm gonna use 3 cloves. You can use 1 or even none. It's not necessary. Onions is more necessary for the baccalà than garlic. So as usual, we start with olive oil and we turn it on at the beginning a little fairly high. And I like to be abundant with olive oil, as you know. And we always start with onion first and the garlic. So the onions are kind of softening a little bit, and garlic is start to, not yet, it start to get brown, but not yet. But it's releasing all the juices. So I can add now the capers. Let the saute the capers as well. Now that the onions is actually start to get a bit soft and almost getting brown, I think it's the right moment to put the fish in, like that, on top of the onions, so it won't stuck at the bottom. I'll start with the bigger pieces. Maybe we can fit them all. Good. High, and because when we put the wine always high, wine, cover, let it go for a few minutes and let the alcohol evaporate. You know that this is we call it Livornese with capers, tomatoes, olives, but there's another one that is from the north, Venetians, where Venice is, around there, Vicentina, and they use milk, but I don't know yet. I'm not acquainted with that, with the milk. Now it's time to put the banana peppers, and we can put the olives as well. Now this is the baccalà, which is the cod under salt. It keeps the temperature, the cooking. If you go and buy a fresh cod, you can use the same ingredients, but it won't. You can't cook it too much, because it gets too tough. This is being tough because of the sauce, so it's kind of it's a different. I think it has to do with chemistry. I don't know. But fresh cod, you don't want to cook it for that long. Now this kind of boiling, I add the tomatoes all around. I like sauce. This juice makes a nice sauce, so it can be eaten, goes with polenta, mashed potatoes, and of course bread to dip in. Okay. Now we let it sit for a bit and we lower a little bit. Let it go for 10 minutes, maybe 15. That it reduces a little bit the sauce. So as we know, it's a Lent time, and Lent there is always a a gesture that we need to do for Lent. For Lent, what we decided with St. Vincent de Paul, which is the charitable organization of the Catholic Church, in conjunction with St. Joseph's School, which I'm the chaplain. So we made these beautiful bags that says Mission Impossible. We always try to reach for the impossible, and with grace of God, the impossible can become possible. What is the mission for the children of the school? Is that we're gonna give this bag for the kids to take home and fill with unperishable food like cans or package, and bring it back to the school. St. Vincent de Paul take a collection, and then we'll bring it to the poor of our community, the poor of our city. But the idea I had, instead of one, we're gonna make our little children little missionaries. So we're gonna give 3 bags, 1, 2, and 3. One for them, for their own family, and take home and fill it up. And the other 2, you know what they're gonna do? We're gonna ask them to go and bring this bag to their neighbor, one on the right, one on the left. Can you imagine this little kid, grade 4, knocking the door and says, "Hello, my dear neighbor, could you fill this with some unperishable food for the poor? Thank you." They may say no, or they say yes. But it's a gesture, a missionary gestures for our little children. I think it's just beautiful. So that's what we're gonna do this Lent for our kids. So remember to stir occasionally, and this is almost 15 minutes, so I think it's ready. And if you look at this beautiful sauce, oh man, can you imagine dipping a nice piece of focaccia bread? Oh, delicious. Have you noticed that I have not put any salt yet? Because the fish, and I haven't tasted yet, but the sauce, look how beautiful. I want to taste. Yes, it's salty. So, because the fish has maintained that salt, so I don't think we need to add any salt. And, but we can add some pepper. This black pepper I ground myself. I think I said this last time that we use it. Okay, how about that? And then we can add the parsley now. Polenta is very good. Polenta, one day we're gonna make it. And but also bread. I feel I want to give a free commercial. Can I? I don't know. Cloves bread is my favorite. Look at this beautiful Turkish bread, salt and pepper. And they also give the leftovers bread. They don't throw it away. They give it to the poor. As a matter of fact, a couple of my parishioners, they asked my truck to go and pick up some of the leftover breads, because they pick it up and then bring it to some of the places where they feed the poor. I think 910 Club from the cathedral, they use it, and also our place, I think they use the bread from cloves. So they really do good, so I don't mind to say, to give a free bit. Cloves bread is one of my favorite. So we're gonna do now the, because it looks good, it smells good, but we don't trust our senses, we need to taste. Although taste is a sense. But I think we need to taste in order to prove that what I look and what I smell is really good. And nice bread. I want to dip this in the pot. Am I allowed? Sure, look at this. Oh my goodness. Now the fish, the Baccalà. Nice. Oh my goodness. It's delicious. A bit saltier. So maybe next time I suggest to change water more often. But it's just delicious. Baccalà. I would like to say Thank you to our kids of St. Joseph's School who are going to be the leader missionaries. Thank you to St. Vincent de Paul for offering this opportunity, and my blessing to all of you.